Hey there, creatives. Welcome back for another tutorial. So today we're going to mix it up. We're going to kind of put the deco mesh stuff aside for a bit. And today we're going to focus on some grapevines and using some non-traditional, but yet still like not traditional colors, but traditional elements. Let's put it that way. So I went walking through Hobby Lobby this week and just kind of taking a look at what Hobby Lobby had put out as far as fall, as far as Christmas, to see if there's any new products. And there are some, so we're going to be using those today because I fell in love with this color palette, which is like, it just borders on trendy just subtly. So it's not like over the top, in your face, you know, here's a non-traditional color for fall, and we're not putting a sign on this one. So it's going to basically just be nothing but florals, leaves, and other embellishments, and then we'll add a nice bow to this grapevine, and then we should be done. So before we get started, I want to welcome you if you're new. A lot of times, you know, this is where we make our Facebook connections. This is where we find out that we have other crafters in areas very similar to our own. Matter of fact, I found some really great crafting buddies that are very nearby, and that just kind of makes things so much nicer when it comes to collaborating and putting some design ideas together. So I'd love to know where you're from, especially if you're a first-time viewer. Now, if you like this design and need to save this video, the easiest way to do it is click the share button. It puts this video on your Facebook page, and then that way you have it when you're ready to put together your own ideas. So the steps are going to be familiar. They're going to be pretty basic, and you can kind of adapt those to work with any type of seasonal florals that you happen to have or things that you'd like to put together. Also, if you want to be notified when I go live, because sometimes we change it up and throw out, you know, some additional tutorials, if you click the like and follow button, a little bit different there. The like button is easily found, but the follow button is hidden. So if you go from where you like the page over to the right, you'll see 3 little dots. Click on that, it'll open up a sub menu, and then you can go ahead and follow the page. That way, if you happen to be on your device, you'll be notified when I go live. YouTube subscribers, something a little bit different for you. I am working on creating an ability to join a YouTube private group. So I'm working out all the details. So there is a possibility that when you're watching this video today, there is a join button down below. And the join button will give you different perks depending upon what level membership you join. So there's creators, designers, and entrepreneurs. So it just depends on what you're looking. And obviously the higher levels you go, the more stuff that you get in your monthly memberships. So check that out if you haven't already. Also, if you guys don't know that I'm on YouTube, Cat's Creations Wreath on YouTube will let you find all of my public tutorials. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm actually in the right group. I believe that I am. And of course, you know, Facebook being Facebook. Let me get out of where I'm at. And okay, any day now. There we go. Okay, we're there. So let me go ahead and type in my website down below. So if you guys have any questions, you can definitely reach out to me through my website. Also, a private group. So we're down to the last handful of days. I want to make sure that goes. For the private group where you can join for 2 weeks. So you can do a trial. It's a 2-week trial for $1. And then if you decide to stay by the 13th day, it'll start billing you the regular monthly rate, which is $27 a month. So it'll kind of give you a sneak peek on what we're doing for at least 2 weeks and decide if this is something you want to participate in. So you can do that by the link that I posted below. YouTubers, it'll be in the description box for you. I hope to see you there because this offer only goes until August 31st. So, gonna pan you down. and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm using an 18-inch grapevine, and this is supposed to actually be a round, but I think the shape of this just kind of, you know, maybe based on packaging or what have you, it's a little bit of an oval shape, so I like that. Right now, the dimension on this, and I'm looking, it's about 19 inches long, and we're about 17 inches wide, but I'm hoping to fill this out a whole lot more. So I've already gone through the process of cleaning my grapevine because I like it to be free from the debris. Because a lot of times when they're wrapping the grapevine, they get the leaves kind of get mixed in there. Sometimes there's dirt, sometimes there's pine branches, what have you. And what I do is just go around the wreath and remove anything, like you'll run your hands back and forth. Sometimes you'll feel some, you know, broken twigs. I usually try to remove those. Don't forget, when you're cleaning, do the top side and then also flip it to the back, and make sure that you're going through and, you know, doing the same thing on the back side, because you'd be surprised at how there's just little things, like little nubs on the end of bigger branches. Cut those off. If your cutters won't go flush enough, then you can get yourself little things like this, like a sanding block, and then you can go ahead and sand down those points so that they're not super sharp and that they're all nice and smooth. So it's always good to have those on hand. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome from Canada. I know, I love doing grapevines. Grapevines are definitely my all-time favorite. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for sharing and also for watching. Denise, she says, I'm from Sycamore. Where is that? What state? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Linda. Linda says, cleaning the grapevine definitely makes it easier to design your wreath because, yes, you will know where all the high and low spots are. So, like, when I tip this over, right now it doesn't sit flush. Now, this side will be the back of a customer's door. So I want to make sure, hey, that does not rock back and forth, that it sits nice and smooth. Jane, thank you for joining us from Wales. Okay, so this is a first time for you for grapevines. So let me show you what I found at Hobby Lobby. So this is going to be the color palette. So we are going to be using these silvery blue. These are known as silver dollars. So we're going to be incorporating this with some beige maple leaves. So this is my color palette. I'm doing a silvery blue. I'm also doing a beige. And then we're going to be punching that in with like these fun orange, soft, it's like a soft orange to a slight tan and a little bit of a cream. We'll be factoring in, we'll be using some of the light, I call these like whitewash pumpkins because they're not quite orange, but I like the subtlety of this. And so when I'm walking around Hobby Lobby, this is what I was doing. I'm like, ooh, these are really pretty because I like these. These aren't the in-your-face, like bright blue. They're more like a silvery blue. And then I'm like, oh, that looks really good when you like pair that, you know, in here with your maple leaves and you just mix it up so you can kind of see the blend. And then, of course, these were a new pick for Hobby Lobby this year. And I'm like, right there alone creates a very stunning wreath. And so those are going to be our color palettes. We're also going to introduce some rusty brown, like a light brown hydrangea. And these say, when I look these up on my app, it says that these are cornflowers, but they don't really look like cornflowers. If they do, they are like giant. They are kind of like a dark silvery blue. So we're going to be incorporating those. And those are going to be our florals along with some, obviously, greenery, some wheatgrass, some pampas grass, some white pumpkins. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I have my glue skillet on. It's kind of out of view of the camera, but this is what it looks like. It is a 6-inch skillet. I will link this in the description box for YouTube's, and also I will put it in the post. Once it goes to replay, I'll put the link for that so that you can order that. It's great for doing florals. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want to break these down because I don't want to just slap them on the wreath like this. I want to be able to put them where I want to put them. And sometimes, you know, you don't want it to go too full. So we're breaking those down so that they are not like this big. Even though you could, if you wanted to put those on, I want to control exactly how wide they are. And we're going to put a bow in here right about in this area. So I'm going to just basically lay in all of my, I hate to say greenery because it's not green, but you know what I'm saying. We're going to go ahead and add these in. So I'm layering in some base color blues. So I'm going to start right here at the top. And I have 4 of these picks because I really wanted to emphasize that blue. So I'm just dipping the ends in and then adding them to my design. Now they are wired to a certain extent. I'm going to always cut down the stems so they're not overly big. I'm kind of like toggling in and out. That one is kind of going a little too far out. So you'll see that these look nicer when we place them in a pattern that we like. They look a little softer. Okay, still bringing this around. I'm alternating between going inside and outside. I'll go ahead and break this one down. Actually, at this point, I don't need to pull quite so much down since I'm going to cut those stems anyway. So I'm breaking down 2 to put at the top. There we go. Okay. So again, just place them and see, you know, do they fall where you want them to be? Obviously, if the answer to that question is yes, I have a really big blob of glue on the end of this. I'm trying to get it off. Okay. I'm going to place that right inside. I'll bring this one over a bit. I'm going to go under this branch. I'll place that right on top. Now, if you're new to doing florals for the first time and you're not really sure where you want them all to go, lay them all out. You know, clip all the pieces if you want to do your pieces, and just lay them out. You know, place them where you think you might want them to go. There we go. Go ahead and remove the tag on that one. So I'm going to kind of tuck this one in basically the way you're seeing it right now. So sometimes I just walk in, just lay those in, and I'm like, okay, look, that filled that hole that's right in here. So I'm just bringing this in right in there so that that kind of fills everything out. Okay, so the top part is done, and now we'll go ahead and add our bottom blues. So we're going to do the same to the bottom. And right now, Hobby Lobby has their fall florals on sale for 40% off. which is not bad. So if you like this design, which I do, I like, for fall, I like a little bit of a non-traditional. So, like with this one, the silver blue is just perfect. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing down here. So I'm kind of figuring out, okay, well, how far up do I want it to be? I still want to see the grapevine. So this is my end point. So I'm going to go under this branch. Just like so. And I'll show you how to fix things that are flying and aren't laying where you want them to lay. I'm going to go right in here. Same thing. I'm going to go right under that big branch. I want this one to kind of come in and soften this area right here. So if I go under this branch, obviously that's going to be a challenge, especially with hot glue on the end to get it to go. So I'm not going to go over or under that one. Although, if we just go straight on the top, will that yield the look? I think it will. But I think I'm going to go a little deeper. So I'm going to go down under this. Okay. We're going to kind of come in here. And usually I'll put my finger where I want it to kind of stop, so that I am like, okay, remember this is where you were going to put it. So like right there. Okay, and then we're going to break down the last one. And then we're going to come in and we're still going to add, people call this greening the base. Obviously, we can't green the base because it's blue, but it's the same concept. It's just laying in your foundation layer. So I'll come in right about in here. Out here is a little too far, but bringing it back in keeps it snug and close to the sides. Okay. Let's see if we went under this one. It's a nice little soft look right there. Okay. See, I like the ones that aren't quite as full. Like this is a great one to add in the center. Everything is kind of like a nice cluster. These ones are kind of opened unless you pull them out a little bit further. So I'm going to bring this in right about here. This is our one that's going to stay on the top. And this will be the last one that kind of comes in here. Right there. And this is going to be our top piece. Right in there. Okay, I know it looks a little weird. So if you have floaters that you want to lay a little bit closer to your wreath base, what can you do? Well, you can get floral wire and you can wire that in, or you can get a roll of this stuff, which is called binding wire. It's basically floral wire on a spool, but much thinner and easier to work with. So, like I have these ones that are flying. They're just like up in the air. I could just come underneath with my binding wire. And I just wire that in. And I can go ahead and snip off the excess. And then that way, it'll put it in place or keep it in place. Just like these ones right now are flying a little high. Same thing. I can take that same little piece that I have left over, run it under pretty big branch, give it a couple twists. And the nice thing is because it's brown, it looks like the same color as our grapevine. So this is what you're seeing. And it looks a little kind of funky right now, but we're going to go in and we're going to pop in some of our maple leaves in here. I'm going to go ahead and cut those down. I have 2 of them. And then we're also going to add in some I'm not going to call it some eucalyptus. So I have some pieces of eucalyptus that we're going to add in here as well. And this I got from like, what's it called? Greenery Market. So if you have bring these pieces in, I'm going to have them kind of come to the outside a bit. I have some really big holes. And I love grapevines because they're kind of like, when you're adding your florals, it's kind of like putting them in a little, like an open weave area, I guess. So you're just kind of sticking them in, and then I'm just mixing and matching my colors. So I think I'll have one in here. Just like that. I like mixing the sagey greens with the blue. And again, I'm kind of looking in here. Okay, I'll come up in here. So if you're in doubt, just kind of like take your piece and just kind of put it in a place that you think you might want it to go. Look at how that plays. I'm going to let that one sit. Not there. I think right in here. There we go. And I think I'm going to have this just feather right here to this end piece. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add the sage to the top. So again, just cut down whatever you want and just play, you know, just as you're looking at it, you know, just stick pieces in, like hold them in the place you want them to be and say, do you like the way that looks? Go ahead and add that piece to there. I'm going to go ahead and remove these last 2 leaves so I have a bigger stem to play with. There we go. So that we can get that one right in there. We'll kind of come in. Let's see, where do I like that? Right there. Sometimes it's just the different colors, like this one's a little bit more darker and everything's wired, so we can move them where I want them to go. just like that. Like I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's 3 pieces. So I'm going to stick one right in here. I'm going to come in here and add another one. And I'm going to come in here and add another one. These ones aren't quite as long. So like right there. Okay. Hoping to get a longer stem. We can even bring it up into our blue a little bit more and not have it just under everything. Like that. Nope. And we'll kind of tuck this one in up there. I love the 2 colors together. Removing all of our glue threads. I think we will add something here. Let's add our maple leaves first before we add any more. Okay, so these are a little thicker than these. So when we're looking at the size of this, we want to make sure that bigger goes a little bit closer to our where our bow area is going to be. And I'm just going to kind of weave this in and around some of our blue. So you'll see me taking and moving some of our blue greenery through this. Let's break these ones apart so that I can place these. Now these are a little bit smaller, so we can move them up towards the front. And I have one in here, so I think I'm gonna kind of bring this to the outside, right in here. Just so that we have that coverage. And I'm always looking at my line here and making sure that I don't have anything that's going outside the line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and add this up in here. I think I actually want it let me see. Just moving stuff around. Like, I love how that mixes. And of course, it'll probably be close to an impossibility to get that back. I don't think so. We'll just move things around. There we go. Do the same thing. We're going to split this one. Bring this up in here. Just like that. Oops. Sometimes you just got to spin them all around so they're in the right place. This one I feel like we're defeating the point of having so many in there. I'm going to tuck this in on the side. Again, weave your colors through. There we go. I bring this one way up in here. We've got smaller leaves, so we can bring them a touch higher. Okay, I'm going to bring these down. Kind of looking right about there. So this, all this is right now is my foundation for my florals. I kind of like that up there, like right under here. There we go. All right. So this is what it looks like thus far. I know it looks really weird. So what I want to do is take our big focal flowers in and put those in. It looks a little weird right now because it's kind of like, I haven't put it all together yet. So I am going to definitely cut this. I'm going to use my stem cutter because this is a pretty thick piece right here. So I want it to be in places where it's easy for me to get those. So I want to be able to, like, in here, like really get that elevated in there. And I love the fact that they, you know, they attach all the florals so darn close to the, like these, like, don't benefit me at all. So I'll add those where I want, which means I don't need a stem quite that big. And so that is where I'm going to place that, but I'm going to keep all the leaves because I need to add those in and around our base once we have those in place. It's a really nice stir stick too for that. So I'm working the bottom right now to see what I'd like to go where. And we're going to take our pumpkin pick, and I want to make sure that all of the leaves are turned so that, you know, they're facing the right direction, that we don't have the veins facing up. And this one's going to kind of go down in here, right underneath there. So before I get too carried away, I got to start gluing things in place. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my stem in. So right in there, I'm going to take the little bud, kind of give it some direction. This is going to go kind of under to the outside piece right in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my pre-designed pick already in place, and I'm going to insert that right in there. And then I'm going to set my greenery aside. Those are like little pieces we can kind of fill in wherever we want them to go. So this is what we're looking at with the bottom. Then we're going to come in and add a hydrangea. So our hydrangea is going to kind of be up in here a little bit more. So right about in there. Nice big hydrangea. Right inside. Then we're going to go ahead and add to the top half. Remember, this is still where our bow is going to go. So I'm going to go ahead and chop down my stem. There's one. There's two. And then we're going to remove the leaves so we can add those in. And then we'll throw this away. Okay. So, I think I want this a bit higher. So I'm looking for a good place for it to find home. So I kind of like it right there. So I don't want to lose my placement. There we go. Right under that maple. And I think we're going to come out right here with our little baby bud a little bit higher up. There we go. Okay, we need our other pumpkin pick. Can never get the little pricing tags off. Again, I'm going to take the time to turn all my stems so that the leaves are not like veiny side up like this. So I'm just going in and turning those around. There's that one. And that one. And we can just kind of fan these out a little bit. I will cut down that stem. We're going to place this one up a little bit higher. Again, just weave things through your florals so they just don't all look static. And then we need our other hydrangea. Go down in here, probably right in the center. I'm going to leave the stem long enough that if I need to move it, I can. Okay, here's our bow. I'm actually going to go ahead and make the bow, and then we're going to come back and we're going to finish the rest of our embellishments on that. So what do you guys think so far? It looks absolutely gorgeous. You could do it sideways, so I know this is a challenge for some. Once we add the bow in here, you could turn this so that you have an oval on your door. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I want to do is I'm trying to figure out which ribbons I want. I know I wanted these. These are the colors that I want to incorporate in this design. So we're going to go with this first, which is from Kringle Designs. This is that two-sided ribbon. So it's got the gingham on one side and stripe on the other. So I want to kind of figure out, hey, how far do I want that to hang down? So I'm going to bring this in. And if you want to weave this in and out of your design, like you could go up and around, like it can go down in here. You can kind of swag it through your design and have it kind of come out to the bottom, which I kind of like. So with that though, that's a really long tail. That's like 19 inches. So we're going to try it. We can always cut it down if we really, really hate the way it looks. So we dovetailed the edge. We went 19 inches for the tail. And so what I want to do is look at, okay, how big of a loop do I want for my bow? I think like that. So we're looking at about a 5-inch loop. Okay, so now that I've got my measurements, 19 inches for the tail, we're doing 5 inches for a loop. Now I can build everything here. I'm actually going to go 5.5 inches on this one, and I'm going to do a double on this, which means instead of us doing, you know, just one of each, a loop on each side, we're going to double this up. I'm going to do a 5, and then I'm going to do a 5, or 5.5, and then I'm doing a 5. So I'm going to bring this down just a 1/2 inch. So right there at 5. And I'll move the wreath here in a second once I get my last loop measurement in. And then we said 19, which is way down here. So dovetail edge is just bringing your wired edges together. Okay, like I said, this ribbon is from Kringle Designs. So I'm going to move this now so we can get that out of the way. Look at all the debris. Just because we're pushing and pulling things inside the ribbon. Then I'm going to do our pumpkin, I think. Pumpkin, and then finish with the blue. Although I really like it like that. But I think I'm going to break it up anyway. So I'm going to do our pumpkin ribbon, which is from Michaels. So I'm going to turn this up, dovetail the ends. I keep like second guessing myself. I'm like, oh, should we do that and then that? I'm like looking at what do I want. Decisions. Stick with your gut, cat. Okay, so this one I'm going to bring it right back down to our 10. So the only reason I made the bottom one really super long is so we could weave that into our pattern. So I'm going to do both of these at 5. And I'm going to do a double one on this. So because we've measured out the one at 5, we can just put our finger in, and then we're going to do a 4.5. So again, bring it down. That's like a 4. There's 4.5. Do the other side. Four and a half, and go back out to 10 inches for this. We'll do our dovetail end. Then we'll do that foil. Look how pretty that looks. Just those two colors together. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm like thinking, do I want to introduce this? Let me look. I like it though. This to me says pumpkin spice. So I'm going to do this one at 9 inches. Again, we'll do a double bow on this. So I'm going to do one loop at 4.5 inches. So I'm just taking that one. I still want to double check, because for some reason that felt really big. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and do 2 at 4 inches. So there's 1. 2. This one goes back out to 9. And then we're going to do an 8 on the blue. And it's like a blue velvet. Like a soft smoky blue. Thanks, Mary Carol. Just the very nice colors. I love these colors, but I didn't feel like doing another bright blue. More like subtle blue. This is also from, where did you get this? Hobby Lobby this year. So when I was in Hobby Lobby, I actually picked up this color because I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And it's not wired. So this is going to just basically lay on top. It's not going to have any life at all. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to do an 8-inch loop, or 8-inch tail on that, sorry. We're going to do a simple loop at 3.5 inches. Since this is not going to have any movement at all. It's just a floppy ribbon. Same thing. 3.5 inches. And then we want this out 8 inches. And then we're going to dovetail this. So this is meant to lay on top of our gold. There we go. Okay. That one's all put together. I'm going to use a beige pipe cleaner to pick this whole thing up. I'm going to compress and lift. We're going to drop this down. And we're going to twist. You're going to see those floppy tails just flop. And we're going to tie this and fluff it on our wreath. So here's our wreath. We're going to kind of come in. This is the other reason why we clean our grapevines, is so that when we want to go down, and through our grapevine, we can get it down to the base, no problem. So here's that really long tail. So I'm going to bring this one under, and I'm just going to kind of weave it in and kind of let it sit there. And let's bring this one up. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm just having like a big loop. Trying to go up. Okay, now I'm going to fluff. So I'm going to take the bottom two and pull those out to the side. Bottom two. Then I'm going to take these top ones. I'm going to twist them around so that those pumpkins are now on top. I'm going to bring that under. Okay, I've only done one side of my fluffing. And then we're just going to fluff all of our ribbon tails. Obviously the blue is not going anywhere because it has no real life of its own. So we're just going to let it lay on top of existing ribbon like so. So there is our bow. And now we're going to go in and bring in some additional colors. We're going to add some more creams, and then we're going to bring in more of our greenery. Okay, let me look. So we have our greenery here that came from our florals. And I'm just kind of looking at, you know, where do I want this to come? These are also great fillers. I think I kind of want it in here, but then it covers up our maple. And I don't want it to cover a bow. So I'm going to add that one down in here. Okay. Another piece that I'm going to bring in here, down under my bow a bit. So like right under here. I'm going to add that. Actually, I'm going to pull off the last two because I think it's going to go pretty far under. I'm going to bring this up right underneath our other cornflower. Okay. Spinning this around. Bringing that right up underneath. Okay, let us add in some fun pieces of wheatgrass and pampas grass, and we're going to add in a couple white pumpkins. This one actually came with 3. So we're going to break that apart. There we go. So we can have 3 individual pieces. There we go. All of those wired into one. There we go. We will break them up so we can put these where we would like them to go. Okay, so this is pampas grass, and we can just kind of, the end of this one's a little warped. We're going to add these in and around our design to bring in that creamy white color. Just different texture. Gonna bring one in up here. So this is where you get to have fun playing, where you can just kind of, you know, lay things in and go, ooh, that looks really pretty. I like where that went. If you like where it went, just go ahead and put that back. So we have that. We have one more piece. I think we're going to put this one at the bottom. I generally go heavier on the bottom, lighter on the top. I think I want to bring this one in. Let's see, do we want it to go in here? No, I kind of liked it where it went here. And just move stuff around if it doesn't lay the way that you want it to. And now we're going to bring in some wheatgrass. Again, I don't like them in a big pick, so I'm breaking them into smaller pieces so I can place these where I want them to go. Like, this one feels like it's a little heavy on that side, so I'm going to add a little wispiness here. Just like so. I'm going to fill in down here. And I'm going to come in a little bit at the side here. Okay, do the same here. Split the pick. I'll place one in here. Sometimes you can just look at things and go, oh, okay, we kind of need something right there. We need something like right in here. Okay. And we're going to add that wispy right on the end down here. We're going to let that kind of fall. And it's always easier to get glue off if you let things dry and then go ahead and pull it off, because then it won't attach itself to the things you don't want it to attach to. Okay, let's add our white pumpkins, and then I do have one more pampas grass to add. Let's see. I kind of like them a little bit snugged up next to the other pumpkin pig, so it feels like, hey, they were meant to be together. Like that. We'll do the same for our other pumpkin. Like that. Let me look. Yes. Okay, couple more pieces of our pampas grass. We've got the leaves. I didn't want to play with everything else. Now, I like playing with the individuals rather than the top. I kind of like, let me see, the stem's a tad too big. So I kind of like the idea of me being able to put these where I want them to go. Like right in here with our berries. Like I felt like, hey, we need some of those. And don't be afraid to break picks apart to do the things that you want to do with them. Like I like that. So super nice look there. So again, just break them all apart. What do you guys think so far? Hi, Carol. Welcome. She says, I am just now getting here. This looks so pretty. Remove all that. So I'm going to bring some up here. Just different ways. And then we'll finish right there. Okay. A very full wreath, to say the very least. Let me fix my loops that are supposed to be going up and around and then out. Okay, let's look at what this looks like on the door. It's weird looking at it here. I want to see it really honestly on the door. So let me get all this situated on our bow. You want to just be over here. But you're supposed to go here so that this can come in. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the door. So I'm gonna flip you up. Hello all. Okay, we're gonna put it on a dark door. So this is our look for fall. So you have the option, you can add a sign or no sign. I'm just trying to get my door situated. Because I have a screw instead of an actual hanger. So we're gonna make sure you get all your glue threads off before you do your photos. Again, if you want to like add any last minute touches to your flowers, you can definitely do that. Trying to give some life to this blue bow. There we go. That. Tuck it inside. This hard one, all you have is a very big screw. Oh, let's see what it is. It's actually stuck on one of the longer cross branches. And I don't want to knock my door over. So I love swirling some of my ribbons so that they have like little wispy little tendrils in there. What do you guys think? Let me get out of the way and I'll zoom in on that. Okay. Let's see. So there is our fall floral wreath for 2022. What do you guys think? Well, I'm glad. Cheryl says, I love all the embellishments. Definitely gives her ideas on what she's going to do for her floral. It's so weird because when I'm looking at this in the camera, it kind of looks odd. Like it's tilted. It's actually my door's not sitting straight. Okay. Well, if you're interested in this, it is available for sale on my website below. You can go ahead and pick that up if you're interested in it. Other than that, I shall talk to you guys next week. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.